September 14, 2025. Imagine the Yellow Sea at 3:10 p.m. A peaceful afternoon turning into a high-octane confrontation. A beat-up North Korean Mi-24 Hind, a 14-ton Soviet-era relic, pours 23mm cannon rounds down onto an American H-64E Apache Guardian. And $36 million, 11-ton aerial fortress rebuilt with submarine hunting sensors. Sparks flicker as rounds ricochet off the Apache armor, but the Guardian resists. Below the surface, a North Korean Sango-2 diesel submarine, drained after 48 hours in the water and with batteries falling below 12%, is compelled to come up, exposed and noisily giving away its location. The acoustic signature of the diesel is so loud it's like a beacon. Flying overhead, the Apache connects with the USS Roosevelt, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer equipped with 90 VLS cells 40 nautical miles distant, making a normal surfacing into a trap. Within less than an hour, the confrontation is over with a helicopter destroyed, a submarine crippled, and a humiliation Pyongyang will never forget. Pyongyang mobilizes its treasured Hind at 3:22 p.m. An antique museum exhibit commanded simply, "Chase the Americans off." But armed with Hellfires, rockets, a 30mm cannon, and state-of-the-art comms supporting the U.S. force, the power balance is starkly apparent. What would be the case if North Korea shot first? And how will the United States react? Stay on. I'll take you through precisely what happened and how this encounter turned it all around. Pyongyang generals. The Mi-24's attack was for show. To its pilot, it was a mission of pride. But to the Apache crew, it was just a nuisance. The Hind swooped over the Apache's nose at only 1,600 feet, expelling flares and screaming an inelegant warning in fractured English. American aircraft, leave area immediately. But with one glaring defect, both helicopters remained 50 nautical miles within international waters, where the Apache was legally unreachable and militarily unappable. And then the fatal error. In response to the threatening, the Apache released its dipping sonar directly into the ocean, a brazen statement that read, "We still have your submarine." Terror seized the Sango-2 below. Its commander gave the order for a wild emergency dive, descending over 15 meters per second, producing cavitation bubbles audible throughout the whole U.S. strike group. What was intended to shake America down actually gave it invaluable intelligence. The Hind had just revealed its own side's position. At 3:36 p.m., the shaky standoff broke. Figuring the U.S. would not dare fire back, the North Korean pilot returned fire, unleashing 23mm cannon fire at almost 400 a minute. But against the Apache's titanium armor, the barrage was more sparks and noise. Calm and steady, the American pilots maintained their positions as the frustrated Hind pilot lost his cool, locking on to deliver a second attack with an Igla-V missile dating back decades. Alarms were ringing in the Apache as the pilots prepared stingers that could travel at Mach 2.2 and take out the target in seconds. But catastrophe occurred, the firing mechanism jammed. For 6 agonizing seconds, the Apache was immobile, a sitting target, as across the horizon the Hind's missile seeker homed in. For the first time, the North Korean pilot smiled. He had his chance. A single button press and the Apache might have been destroyed, but destiny turned the tables. The firing system cleared, and with a deafening roar, 2 stingers howled off the rails at more than 1,500 miles per hour. In an instant, they closed the distance. The Hind pilot yanked on the stick, pulling 4.5 GS in a futile bid for escape, but the ancient airframe creaked under the strain. The first missile shredded the left engine in a fiery ball. The second, half a heartbeat after the first, shredded the fuselage. The Mi-24 disintegrated in mid-air, its wreckage spreading over the Yellow Sea, a relic devoured by modern firepower. The sky was once more blue, but the battle wasn't yet done. Under the waves, the Sango-2 submarine was still fighting, and the U.S. Navy was prepared to finish the hunt. At 3:44 p.m., the USS Roosevelt sent a 9,200-ton display of steel and accuracy as an MH-60R Seahawk, call sign Romeo, took to the skies. Where the Apache was not, Romeo was designed for this purpose, hunting submarines. Its dipping sonar dived deep, searching more than 1,500 feet, and promptly acquired the desperate evasive actions of the crippled North Korean sub. Each frantic crash turn creaked through the hull and bellowed louder into the sonar net. The American operator sneered. The sub was yelling its own death notice. Next, the death blow. From only 2,800 feet, Romeo launched a -54 Malawian Kwacha's lightweight torpedo, a 96-pound warhead that homed at more than 40 knots. To cinch the noose, the destroyer itself launched a RUM-139 VLS-Rock, an anti-submarine rocket with a 12-mile range. At 3:57 p.m., the -54 Malawian Kwachas hit the sub's rear section, shaking bulkheads and flooding compartments. Crew members were tossed from their stations, alarms screamed, and although the Sango II was crippled, it hung on, limping further into the Yellow Sea in retreat. The mission was finished. Survival was all that was left. Within half an hour, an Apache, a Seahawk, and a destroyer had shot down a helicopter, disabled a submarine, and amassed a goldmine of intelligence. Evidence of American superiority and a harsh reminder of Pyongyang's constraints. By 4:15 p.m., the Yellow Sea was quiet. Smoke from the destroyed Mi-24 Hind wafted across the waves as below the waves the damaged Sango II submarine limped home, its fuel lines broken, compartments flooded, and propulsion reduced to less than 40%. Pyongyang's once vaunted silent hunter was now little better than a steel coffin shambling toward port. The cost was staggering. A submarine that took 7 years and $300 million to build. More than the annual food budget for millions of citizens. Neutralized in under 30 minutes. The humiliation for North Korea's air wing was even sharper. A $12 million helicopter, once marketed as a flying tank, had been obliterated by two $38,000 Stinger missiles, so common in the U.S. arsenal they're stockpiled by the thousands. Strategically, the consequences were catastrophic. Within more than an hour, America had accumulated 72 minutes of unbroken acoustic and electronic intelligence, discovering precisely which frequencies to jam, which heat signatures to follow, and which vulnerabilities to target. A Cold War anachronism had met contemporary American might and lost. The Apache defied cannon shot and retaliated at Mach 2.2. The Seahawk disabled a submarine with surgical accuracy, and the destroyer waited in reserve with 90 missile launch cells that could annihilate threats across the horizon. Against this, North Korea's so-called might disintegrated into panic, cacophony, and defeat. The lesson was inescapable. In the 21st century, conceit and archaic technology are lethal. What Pyongyang depicted as intimidation turned to self-annihilation, and America's spending on training, accuracy, and grit produced a flawless triumph without loss. This was more than a skirmish. It was an in-your-face demonstration of what occurs when caustic aggressiveness collides with contemporary discipline and sheer might. If you'd like more hidden tales and tough lessons from modern-day warfare, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support that keeps us burrowing deeper into the actual realities of contemporary war. 21748